strange, isn't it, in the world that we live in now, because seemingly we've just been told over here in the United Kingdom that men could be working past the age of 70 years old. Not quite sure, I think it's 68 for ladies. It's a long time, isn't it? And let's be honest, if you're doing one of those really demanding jobs like being a nurse, or perhaps, like if there's still any milkmen, stuff like that, a really physical job, truly, would you have the energy or indeed the inclination to keep on working? But it's a strange world, as I say, that we live in, because as many people know, I get very upset by the way that elderly people are treated. You're just written off. You're not there, are you? When you go to a shop, nobody wants to talk to you. They look through you, and goodness, if you cannot work the till or your card or the digital appliances, you're just simply a nuisance, made to feel terrible. So it comes as no surprise that one of the leading organisations over here, the BBC, have now decided once again to get rid of old people. But guess what? Now they want them back at your expense. Let me explain. How are you? Nice to see you today. Thank you so much as ever for your time. Many of us, we just sort of turn on the radio, don't we, and enjoy it and have the music in the background. It's a bit of company, Speech radio is big business, obviously, because you feel like at least there's somebody in the room with you, somebody talking to you and giving you a bit of time of day. This was one of the big things about BBC Radio 2. They had people on there, DJs, that had been around for decades but felt like friends. The very, very professional Steve Wright. I remember him way back when I was at school. Very clever guy, very funny, and just was nice to have a reassuring voice on the radio. Then, of course, Radio 2's biggest star, pulling in over 11 million people every single week, Ken Bruce. Now, all of these people were brutally let go through mismanagement, bad management, and then went off to pastures new, taking that audience with them. BBC apparently didn't care. They got brand new people, and they were literally hoping to cultivate a new audience. But guess what? They've realised, in fact, that audience has now not returned to said station. So at great expense, they're now going to be launching their own oldies radio station, trying to lure back some of the people that they fired so indiscriminately. You get the picture. But this is where mismanagement, bad management, really shines to the fore. Because recently we found out that Tim Davie, the BBC Director General, really, who is possibly one of the weakest people running any organisation at all, called in the man that's really causing a lot of problems for the BBC, the sports presenter Gary Lineker, assisted in the guidance for the social media output, what people could say and do on social media platforms regarding the BBC. You couldn't make this stuff up, could you? This is how weak they are. But now, you and I, the people that pay the BBC licence fee, are going to be having to stump up even more money to fund a channel that really they had in the first place, but due to their mismanagement, let everybody go. And by that I mean old people that had a huge audience, a much loved audience, and more importantly, a well-respected audience. How do you feel about this? I'd love to know, because over here we are by law summoned to pay the BBC licence fee. That is, of course, unless you are on benefits, a migrant, and you can watch and listen to the BBC free of charge in that 4-star luxury hotel room, while the hard workers amongst us have to pay for the privilege of, once again, the BBC mismanaging your money, your time, and some say some of your favourite stations. As ever, I'd love to know what you think to this particular story in the comments below. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.